Manchester United versus Everton. Personally, it's not disappointing for me. I am ecstatic. Yeah. It kind of sucks seeing Merseyside Blue, get the W. But if you're going to get a W, let it be against Man U. But I'm not a rapper. I actually am, though.
I was actually watching that game, and I expected Man United to go there and bring the game to Everton. Everton have been struggling for form, and this would have been a perfect time for Man United to bounce back, especially after Arsenal had dropped points, to show that they're actually not gonna. They are a huge talking point when it comes to the top four race. But on the pitch, they didn't act like it.
From the bits of the game that I saw, United I reiterate, they don't have a plan. They don't. It's like, it sucks. Like, I'm gonna put my feet in the shoes of a United fan. It must be so depressing watching your football club, the richest ever formed 11 in footballing history, watching them, the greatest football of all time in a lot of people's eyes, in CR7, one of the best midfielders in the world in Paul Pogba, one of the best midfielders in the world in Bruno Fernandes, one of the best defenders in Maguire.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. Varane. You have this excellent team. We can't even talk about De Gea. You know what I mean? You have this team filled with stars, but they play football like it's Sunday League, bro. It's insane because you have state-of-the-art facilities. You have the best talents. You have I think they've been in the top 5 richest clubs in the footballing landscape for how many years consecutively? Eons, bro. And they still can't form what is required to actually play the game proper. Yeah, we spoke about this in the previous one, where it's like they Americanize it, but this now reigns deeper because the United culture is gone. The new culture is that of waiting for the season to end.
I think Ten Hag has made it worse.
Really?
Yeah, because if you're in Ralph Ragnick's shoes right now, like to formulate a team and make that team play with your style, that takes plenty of time. And when you're when you're playing these games right now, playing those games is part of the process of slowly getting to where you envision your team being in the next few years. But when it's pretty much decided that you're not going to be here for the next few years, what do you then do? You know that if I'm trying to get Man United to pressing takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
But then in your mind, like, okay, am I gonna let them? I'm gonna start trying to implementing pressing now, but I'm gonna be gone.
They didn't have a preseason with Ranić. Yeah. One, Ranić tried to introduce a style of play that United have never really been good at, being the gegenpress. You're trying to bring that into a team where already there's issues with personnel, there's character issues. Like United's issues, a huge chunk of United's issues is character, both with the players and the manager. You know what I mean? Ranić, I cut him a bit of slack because, you know what I mean, I can't like force a tenant into a broken down building and then ask him why is it in such a crappy condition. You know what I mean? It's so deep, the issue with United, but I feel like we've spoken about that in depth in the last video, and I don't really want to talk about Man U because it depresses me, even though I'm not a United fan.
All I'm saying is actually shout out to Ralph Rangnick, because he noticed that tactically the team wasn't taking, and he actually subbed on Pogba in the first half. I feel like that took guts, and that shows that I wouldn't see Solskjaer ever doing that, dude.
Does it? I don't know. Like, Pogba doesn't really feel like he has the same weight he had, compared to seasons of last.
He came on and he made a difference, but the difference wasn't impactful enough.
What does this mean for their top four race?
I think that after watching Spurs dismantle Villa, I feel like it's done.
It's safe to say that they're out of it.
Yeah.
As in,
they're competing for competing's sake, but I did mention in the last video that Ronaldo could save them, but right now I think they need Jesus.
Yeah. And even Jesus is like, yo, man. Yo, man. My son.
Yeah.
Is this the worst Manchester United squad of the Premier League era?
Squad, no, because on paper they're really good on paper. If you put aside their defense, they could be like for like with us in terms of midfielders and attack.
Be better.
Yeah, but I would how best, what word can I use? They're not the worst squad, but they're the worst team. If that can you make sense of that, guy?
All right, so here's the thing. When you bring up the fact that on paper they're like for like with us, however, when we look at their performance and its lack of reflection in what we expect from them, that contributes to the level of disappointment and of them being one of the worst ever United sides in Premier League history. Because what makes, like, for example, like if you see a person who comes from a well-off background, financially fit, financially stable, parents are rich, but then you end up seeing that the son turn out to be a vagabond, you're going to reflect all of that on him to say, yo, you are a failure because you had all the necessary resources to actually be well off in life. Maybe not even well off, just better. You know what I mean? But like, you know, I'm sure there's, you know, underlying issues like that. I don't want people to be attacking me. But anyway, I'm just saying, as compared to a person who comes from the gutter, comes from nothing and gains something. You know what I mean? Like Brighton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's a topic for another day. So for me, my history of watching Premier League football is the constant is of United dominance, and United at certain periods would dominate with, I don't want to say a lackluster squad, but a squad that on paper isn't even close to the one that they currently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they still won trophies, and these guys, we're not asking them to win trophies. We're just asking them to participate accordingly with their talent and with the expectations of their brand. The amount of money that's spent in that club, it's astonishing to see the output.
If you look at Man United in 2015, 2016, I would say that was their worst squad. But at the end of the season, they finished fourth with an FA Cup, and it was Louis van Gaal's last season. That's before you went and revamped that squad again and signed Zlatan, Mkhitaryan,
Revamp.
Yeah, they did revamp that squad because Mourinho did go and buy trophies for them.
Fair and fine.
But it's, with your point, it's really tough to look at it because if you look at these players, they, within the past 5 years, you would assume that this would be the team that's doing the best, because on paper, the fact that we can still even have a discussion on a Liverpool, Man United 11, Man City,
It says a lot.
United 11, it says a lot.